their all-star third baseman Justin Turner. Still trying to figure out that 3 spot, and it's a huge drop-off thus far when you're looking at the numbers in that 3 spot and at third base where they're missing him.
So much is made of Justin Turner's impact off the field, but on the field, the Dodgers are really starting to feel it. Look at Turner's numbers. 372, the number 3 hitters are not doing that well. The 226 and that OPS, that slug and on-base percentage, he almost doubles the number. But our third hitter of the year started out with Yasiel Puig, then went to Mr. Kemp, and now with Yasmani Grandal, he is the hottest bat of the Dodgers, and he has hit Walker really, really well. The long ball is there. He is hot, and he can carry this offense.
All right, let's go down to the field now with Alana, brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. You guys were just talking about that 3 spot, which belonged to Matt Kemp last night. He kind of banged himself into the wall after trying to make a play in the 8th inning on Nick Ahmed's home run. He said he was fine after the game. He said he would be in the lineup. Dave Roberts saying that he's not going to be in the lineup. That's why Yasmani Grandal is in there, just wanting to break up those lefties, but also Yasmani Grandal is certainly making sure that he's swinging a hot bat. Jock Peterson, Dave Roberts also adding he wants him to remain relevant. He gets the start in left.
And loading up 6 left-handed hitters in that group against Taijuan Walker, who has struggled against lefties. Bark in the park tonight. Dodgers and Diamondbacks coming up. Low 70s, perfect night for baseball at Dodger Stadium as these two teams play the second game of this 3-game series, and the Dodgers try to figure these Diamondbacks out. 0-4 against them this season. 10 regular season losses in a row, back to late last year against Arizona. Diamondbacks overall 10-3. Second best record in the National League. Only the Mets better so far.
Now taking the field,
Dave Roberts' squad has dropped 6 of 8, trying to get it on track. Even the series up, set up a chance at a series win tomorrow.
These Dodgers are looking to get it on track. Home field advantage for them was huge last year, and they're looking to win that back. Exciting day here for all the fans. Pup in the park today, a lot of dogs around, and the kids are enjoying getting their jerseys signed here before the game.
He gets one from Cody Bellinger, who is off to a nice start for the Dodgers, especially after the 0-for over the first couple of games. He's been one of the top hitters in the National League. Time for the lineup, brought to you by 76. It starts with David Peralta and Ketel Marte at second base, hitting second. Paul Goldschmidt is the 3-hitter. Pollock, Owens, and Ahmed in the middle, with Avila doing the catching and Devin Marrero at third. For Rich Hill, it's his 3rd start of the year. He had one really good one, 6 shutout innings here against San Francisco. Then in San Francisco last Saturday, not quite as smooth. They allowed 3 runs over 4 innings.
The key for Rich is the 2-pitch mix, the fastball and the curveball. When he has location with both, he is dominant. When he has struggled this year, it's been the fastball location. The league is hitting a lot higher off his fastball right now. I don't think it's a pattern. I think it's just we're going into the 3rd outing today, and if he gets the fastball location back, the curve always plays, and he will be just fine.
We're talking about how important the start to this game will be during the pregame show. And Dodgers, in their 12 games, a team that scored first has won 11 of them. And for the first inning, Rich Hill last year was not good. He's changed things up this year as far as his pregame routine, starting his warm-up a few minutes earlier. Threw about a dozen fewer pitches in his first couple of pre-start bullpens, and having a few extra minutes in the dugout before first pitch to try and change how he feels when he takes it.
A couple of those adjustments are really that his heartbeat is at a slower pace when he takes the mound for this very first pitch.
David Peralta stands in, and off we go with a fastball inside. Peralta's been on base all 10 games that he's played in this season for Arizona. And he's one of the reasons they've been able to survive. No Jake Lamb, no Steven Souza. And as far as production, not a whole lot of Paul Goldschmidt.
That's the scary thing about Arizona getting off to a fast start without Goldschmidt really.
Fly to deep center field. Chris Taylor drifting back, still going to the wall to make the catch. That thing just kept on carrying. It winds up out number 1 of the night.
The vision right now is tough. I don't think Chris misread it. I just think that ball carried very, very well. And early start here today, an hour earlier than normal, so the temperature has not dropped yet. And the ball always carries better here during batting practice than it does during the 7 o'clock starts.
So 1 away, and here's Ketel Marte. Takes at the bottom of the zone for a strike. Boy, isn't it a nice reminder how lucky we are to call this place home when you're looking around the out-of-town scoreboard and seeing 3 different games postponed because of bad weather. Marte pops it up, and it will get to the seats. Couple of inches of snow per hour in Minneapolis today. They've already canceled tomorrow's game as well.
And they didn't go the extra mile to put a dome there. I was just like, why are they building this stadium without a dome?
Yeah. Detroit, weather advisory there. Their game was canceled. Same thing in Cleveland. Hill fires an 0-2, and Marte hits a breaking ball foul. Chicago, they played 30-degree temperatures with some rain and some 25-mile-per-hour winds. Cubs were down in that game 10-2 against Atlanta. Then they got to the Atlanta bullpen. All these guys coming out of a warm bullpen room, which is under the bleachers in left, out into this 30-degree cold, and the Cubs scored 9 runs in the 8th to win it.
Wow. Tell you what, as you get older and you become a free agent, one of the things people look at is the weather. You get to be a 36 to 40-year-old and you're thinking about where you want to play, where you want to sign. A little more of an advantage to be a West Coast team or a Southern team.
Hill gets Marte, 2 out, and up comes Paul Goldschmidt. Makes it interesting that you chose New York and Cleveland and San Francisco.
I did because I wanted those rivalry and that energy of almost joining an enemy.
A little bit outside, ball 1, so weather wasn't at the top of your priority list.
Well, it was another reason for weather because I felt like my body was doing fine. It was to get in on the hitter's hands early in the season with the cold weather since the fastball was depleted.
That's a bullet to left for a base hit. 2-out single for Goldschmidt keeps this inning alive.
Center fielder number 11, A.J. Paul.
Yasmani wants it down. Rich throws it up, and that's a little bit of that fastball command. Punch Marte out on a fastball looking with a well-executed location, but that one was a little up.
So here's A.J. Pollock. His first innings of the season off last night. Came off of the bench and pinch hit late. First pitch curve is in there for a strike. That was kind of a rough way for his on-base streak against the Dodgers to end. It reached in 19 games in a row against LA. And then had just one opportunity to extend it last night. And flied out. No balls and 2 strikes. Could have that been the splitter from Rich Hill?
It could have been at 85, staying on the arm side right there. His fastball is usually, you know, 88 to 91. Taking a little off there. Could have been the first changeup of the year for him.
See what he goes with on 0-2. Just going with a curve, but time had been called. Mentioned Kenta Maeda last night. Historically struggling against Arizona. It's been the same thing for Hill since becoming a Dodger. ERA of 5.5 against Arizona. Another 0-2, the curveball, and it's foul.
Showed him the curveball, and with the late timeout, and still stuck with it. Kenta has struggled against the D-backs. He just didn't look like himself last night. He did not have the command. He didn't have the athleticism as far as fielding his position. I saw him lose his release point an awful lot and walk guys.
A fastball is popped up in front of that Diamondbacks dugout. Cody Bellinger puts an end to the Diamondbacks first. The Dodgers come to bat against Taijuan Walker, trying to even this series up at a game apiece. to by 76. It looks like this. Chris Taylor started last night's game with a solo home run. Second time he's done that this week. Now Yasmani Grandal gets his first crack at the 3 spot. Then Bellinger, Puig, and Peterson. Forsythe and Utley at the bottom of the order with Rich Hill. The former Thunderbird of Yucaipa High School, Taijuan Walker, gave up 3 runs in his first inning of the season, which was against the Dodgers, but in 10 innings since, just 1 run. And that is a perfect representation of what the story is against this guy. You got to get him early if you're the Dodgers.
Big fastball. The best secondary pitch so far as usage is his changeup, taking a page out of Zach Greinke's book. It's not a changeup where all of a sudden you get a lot of velocity off of it, as you see the struggles he's had in the first inning. And then once he gets on the horse, watch out, he will ride for a while.
Here comes with a 1-0, and that's a little bit low. Ball 2 on Taylor.
Differential between his fastball and his changeup is only 5 miles an hour. So he's really just trying to locate it, take the sting out of the bat a little bit, not get the swing and miss, just to get you to put it in play weakly.
Good count for Taylor. Fastball high, 3-0. Part of those numbers, those bad first inning numbers, came in the division series last year. Game 1. Taijuan Walker on this mound. In fact, the last time he pitched on that mound, gave up 4 runs before he recorded an out. And he walks Chris Taylor on 4 pitches. Every mound feels unique, right? When you're talking about the footing and you're looking at the backdrop, and his memories of this one are not good.
Yeah, the perspective from the mound, there's so much different levels of foul territory behind your catcher, so you can feel like you're right on top of the hitter. Sometimes because at Dodger Stadium, you feel like the hitter's a little farther away, and that can change your mentality.
Leadoff man aboard. Here's Corey Seager. The Dodgers shortstop takes a strike. Chris Taylor gets thrown out. That was really interesting. It's almost as if Taylor thought that it had been fouled off and pulled up. He'd gotten a great jump.
It is very interesting because I don't think it's a hit and run. So I'm wondering, did he feel something in his leg, like he couldn't slide? Yeah, he thought he heard foul ball, I think. That's about the only thing I can think of.
Seager now with a missile down the line, foul. Well, it's been that kind of start to this season.
The way he's shaking his head, and nobody's really talking to him. It looks like he thought he heard foul ball. And when he pulls up, he's a good 20, 22 feet from the bag.
I don't think Avila had any chance to throw him out had he kept going. It's in the dirt to Seager. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
He was almost safe by pulling up. Can you imagine he just stayed in stride? What a break for Taijuan Walker, who has struggled in the first inning and didn't really have his release point to Taylor to just get the gift out to kind of catch your breath.
Fires another 1-2, and a breaking ball is hit inside the bag at first. Walker covering for the second out.
Classy play by Paul Goldschmidt right there. It's not the easiest of plays and then feeds with that angle. Most of the PFPs are done to the first baseman's right, and then you have a nice easy throw, and it's usually underhand. That one all the way from foul territory, a little sidearm toss right on line.
2 outs, base is empty, and Yasmani Grandal comes up in a scoreless first inning. Swings and misses at a high fastball. Tried to lay off and couldn't. It's 0-1. So part of the reason that Yasmani Grandal's getting a shot in the 3-hole tonight is his success against Walker in his career. He's reached in 9 of his 14 plate appearances against Taiwan. Quickly behind 0-2 here.
Yasmani, an outstanding fastball hitter, and that's what Taiwan likes to live with, and it's almost strength against strength.
It's dribbled along the line, foul. Stays at 0-2. Grandal, really good numbers against him, includes a home run in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. But regardless of who he's faced, he's been the most consistent Dodger hitter this season. 361 over the first 12 games. Walker's 0-2. Grandal gets under it, and that's fine.
Inconsistencies throughout the Dodger team so far in 2018. Every department has ups and its downs. Where would the offense be without Yasmani? It would be really in the doldrums. That guy, after his first 9 at-bats, got hot.
And really, it's kind of shifted to the pitching as far as where the blame belongs the last few games. Offense has started to get it going. On a 1-2. He digs out a breaking ball and serves it to right for a base hit. We talk about this all the time. Not many better low ball hitters in baseball.
You have to throw a guy more than one pitch, so when they get away from the high fastball with Yasmani, if they have to go with the low fastball or the changeup, you don't like to leave the changeup up, and you don't like to leave your breaking ball up. So once you get ahead of him, a lot of people trying to finish him off up, but if they go with the off-speed stuff, he can dig it out.
Walking a hit in the inning against Walker. And Cody Bellinger to the plate with 2 out. First pitch strike. Dodgers probably have a 1-0 lead if Chris Taylor doesn't pull up going into second. Corey Seager followed that with a ground out, and then Grandal's single. Walker's 0-1. Strike 2. One ball and 2 strikes.
It feels like Cody is getting really close to getting really hot. You know, he's been solid and one of the more consistent hitters of late, but just starting to look more and more comfortable in the box.
3 hits last night. Had his second home run of the year. Came against Zach Greinke. On a 1-2. He's behind it. And the inning is over. A couple of base runners, but nothing to show for it. And after 1, no score. The second inning we go. Dodgers and Diamondbacks are scoreless, and pitching so far this season, Oral, has told the story when it comes to what end of things the Dodgers come out on. In their 4 wins, they've got 3 shutouts, and in those 8 losses, an ERA north of 6.
They need to get back on the beam and be more consistent, and it's not just the starters, it's also the bullpen. The pen has walked too many guys and probably given up too many home runs. The starters have been a little bit inconsistent of late, and it really has blossomed that ERA in losses.
5, 6, and 7 for the Diamondbacks here in the second. Chris Owings to lead it off, and he takes strike 1. Rich Hill, a good guy to have going when things aren't going right. Pitches with that controlled rage you often see from him. Dave Roberts calls it seeing red. Rich Hill sees red when he's on the mound. That's in there for a strike 0-2. Rich says people pay good money to come to a baseball game, so I'm going to give them everything I've got every single time. And he's learned over the course of his decade and a half as a pro that effort and passion will beat talent every time, he says. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Alana Nomar had Kenley Jansen on the pregame show down on the desk, and Kenley was like, I just stay away from him on the day he pitches, and also Kershaw.
Yeah, similar stories.
Kenley's like, I'm even scared to say hi to Clayton on the day he pitches, and I think pretty much that's the way it is with Rich also. He did follow up with, on the other days they're a lot of fun. You talk to him all you want, but stay away on game day.
Chris Owings leading off this second. Dragging a curveball to third. Logan Forsythe, the long throw to get him for the first out. So 1 away in the second, and here comes a guy that's turned into a Dodger killer, Nick Ahmed. Out of his 21 career home runs, 7 have come against the Dodgers. That average you see above 300. He doesn't do that to everybody. 302 against the Dodgers, 219 against everybody else in the majors, of course, over the course of his career.
The Dodgers have always known him as a power hitter, and now that he's changed his swing and his approach, he's actually trying to hit for more power. The rest of the league might get the attack now, but the Dodgers are still looking for the formula on how to get him out.
Ahmed's in his 5th year as a major leaguer. 28-year-old from the East Coast takes high, and it's 1-1. I think that's the second time Hill has thrown that changeup.
Yasmani was sitting low and away. A lot of times Rich, when he throws the fastball, he goes high and away. The same window for the curveball,
which he lands for a strike. 1-2.
Pitch prior to that, Yasmani gave a really low target. The velocity was 85, which is definitely not a fastball, and the low target tells me it was supposed to be a changeup. Just got high and away on him.
This time it is a fastball to the outside corner at the knees for strike 3. Second one of the game for Hill. 2 out in the second.
You will see Yasmani's target change a lot depending on what Rich's pattern is. If Rich can hit the up and away target without spraying it to the arm side, he'll go up there with the glove. But if he thinks he's missing up, he'll give the low target, knowing that the miss is going to be in the proper place also.
Two up and 2 down, and Alex Avila in a scoreless second inning. 3-way timeshare at catcher for the Diamondbacks. Saw Jeff Mathis last night. John Ryan Murphy also spent some time there. That's strike 1 in the first year Diamondback. One-time Tiger. Spot duty with both Chicago teams. On an 0-1. Looks at a curve finish up 1-1. Two balls and a strike. The people that know the name Avila in Dodger lore are saying you're saying it wrong because it was Ralph Avila.
Correct.
But Alex decided when he started his pro career to change it to Avila. Thought it'd be easier on everybody. And didn't want to hear it pronounced several different ways, as he had heard kind of growing up with it as Avila, which doesn't seem that much more difficult than Avila. But for Alex, it's been Avila. His grandpa, a legendary former Dodger scout. Fastball lifted to left field. That's for Jock Peterson starting tonight. 1-2-3 go the Diamondbacks in the second. Peterson due to bat after Puig and ahead of Forsythe as we go to the bottom half.
The office or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
In a scoreless second inning, Yasiel Puig to lead things off in front of Peterson and Forsythe. Hit sixth last night. Into the 5 spot tonight. 1-0 for 2, but a couple of long at-bats that turned into walks. Big right-hander, Taijuan Walker. Power against power in this matchup. He's got a fastball to the outside corner for strike 1.
4-pitch walk to Taylor in the first, then settled in with the base running error. After that, went 0-2 on the next 3 hitters, so it settled him down.
25 years old, former Mariner. He's a top 20 prospect in the Seattle system and debuted with a handful of games in 2013. Moved into the rotation full-time in 2015. Spent 1 more season there in Seattle. And then the Diamondbacks acquired him in the Gene Segura deal. They had actually tried to trade for Walker earlier in his career and almost had it finished, but it was for Justin Upton. And Upton uses no trade clause to block it. By the hands of Puig, 3-1. Puig leading off the second. And hitting a line drive towards the left field corner for a base hit. Peralta cuts it off. Puig's on his way to second, hustling his way to the leadoff double.
Yeah, Seale works really hard on a right center approach, but when you get an off-speed pitch, one that leaks to the inside, you're going to pull it. And he pulls it in the air instead of rolling over it. Really nice swing right there to get a double. Good read coming around first. Don't need your coach there. Do it yourself.
No question in Puig's mind out of the box where he was going to end that play up. In scoring position for Jock Peterson. He makes his 5th start of the season tonight. Largely because of the line you saw on that graphic. Really good numbers against Walker in his career. Includes his first hit of the season down in Phoenix 2 weeks ago. Dave Roberts, Bob Guerin, front office. They look days in advance to try and chart playing time for guys. With a roster as deep as this one and Dave's goal of keeping everybody current, this is planned well before Matt Kemp jars his knee in the wall last night. And Kemp says he's doing just fine, as Alana told us. They had planned to get Jock Peterson to start with his success against Walker even before that injury. This is just like last night. Zach Greinke, the training staff, come out and take a look in the early innings. Was able to pitch through it.
Pitched very well. Didn't look like he should even have made it through the first, the way he was wincing in pain and gyrating. Now we've got Taijuan Walker out there as an issue.
Wound up just being back spasms. I say just. Wound up being back spasms for Greinke that he was able to quiet down.
This is quite a conversation without any practice throws or any stretching or looking at what he's dealing with.
And the bullpen getting ready. TJ McFarland. Let's take a look at the last pitch that he threw. All looks normal.
Yeah, pretty normal.
Well, he's going to stay in. Eerie how similar the two nights have been in that regard. 2-0 on Jock Peterson. Walker's ready. Here he comes. Peterson pokes it foul, 2-1. Outside ball 3.
You know, when they came to the mound to check on him, if it was this third baseman Marrero who kind of signaled for him, he's the only one, the way Taijuan Walker receives the ball back from the catcher and then turns to the mound, he's the only one that can see his facial expressions. Maybe he saw something wincing when he was kind of moving his shoulders and his back around.
See if Peterson gets a pitch to drive on a 3-1. It's at the knees for a strike, full count.
Change up / splitter right there at 87. Nice movement to the bottom of the strike zone.
Pitching backwards there. Prior to that, 22 of his 28 pitches had been fastballs. We get second to start the inning. Full count on Jock Peterson as the Dodgers try to strike first in this one. As we talked about, striking first has been big early this season. 3-2. Peterson pulls a hard bouncing ball, base hit into right center. It brings home Puig and gives the Dodgers the lead in the second.
Long time getting to that sign for Walker, but not a long time for Jock Peterson to get the head of the bat on this one. He ripped this ball. It's on the ground, but 2 hops into the outfield grass. Doing 2 things well there. Was trying to move Puig to third. Not only got him to third, got him home.
So Puig's hustle, turning his line drive to left into a double, sets him up to score on Peterson's single. A 1-0 game in the second. Logan Forsythe takes a strike. Now quietly, Forsythe has been pretty good the last few games. He's a hit in each of his last 5. Fly ball to right field, and Chris Owings will cruise under this one for the first out.
Well, the ball is really carrying in the outfield. We're watching outfielders kind of stride back. Chris Taylor had to roam in center field. Back, finally got one, and that one right there carried well.
1 on, 1 out. Here's Chase Utley. A 77-degree night. Supposed to be nice and cool for the first Sunday afternoon home game tomorrow.
Jackie Robinson Day will be a fantastic day. They're giving away Jackie Robinson replica jerseys.
It's always one of the best days of the year here. And across baseball, but especially here. Jackie Robinson is remembered every day of the year, not just the day where everybody wears 42. Walker to Utley. Walks onto home plate and takes a strike.
He's got a lot of tricks. He's got one where he looks like he's taking a practice swing and he's going to be too late to swing, but he is so quick, and right there he just looked like he was thinking about slapping it to third base.
That's how you get hit 200 times in a career. Time is called. Adrian Johnson, home plate umpire. It's rare that you see an umpire call time and remain in his crouch. Everything looked normal except the bark that came before the pitch.
You mentioned the number of times Chase Utley's been hit. If you walk across the plate on the first pitch and call for time late on the second pitch, if you had an ornery pitcher, you might get one in the ribs.
Even if you're Chase Utley?
Not anymore. I think there's too much respect. That was an interesting move to first. I'm not sure he stepped. It looked like to me just from up here that he just kind of pivoted on his front foot. You've got to make a step to first. Does he step? Boy, he jumps up in the air. That has been called a balk.
Low and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. All-time leader in hit by pitches, a guy named Huey Jennings, who is in the Hall of Fame. Played in the 1890s, early 1900s. Was mostly with the Orioles, but he did have a few-year stint with Brooklyn. Was hit 287 times. Utley's at 199. And excuse me, swing foul ball, 1-2. Modern era, Craig Biggio has hit 285 times. How many times you hit him?
Probably a few. He wore that armor, and they had to make rules about him and Barry Bonds. That armor would protrude too far, so they started making rules about the nuts and bolts you could wear on your elbow. He owned me, though. Check the batting average. It was like 400.
So that's why you just said, to heck with it, I'm going to hit him.
Well, you had to pitch him inside.
Utley hits a bullet to right center field. That's down for a base hit. Peterson to second on the third hit of the inning against Walker.
All on top of that visit to check on his health. I'm not sure how long he'll be in this game if he gives up another hit. Not because the Dodgers will be way out in front, but there's got to be some question mark on the Arizona bench on how Walker might perform today. Chase Utley got the hit he wanted, not the other kind of hit.
Matter of time. 2 on with 1 out for Rich Hill. And you're right, this is where the paths have kind of split in the similar starts for the Arizona pitchers. After Zach Greinke was visited by the training staff, he struck out the side in that inning. Hill lays the bunt down firmly. Walker goes to third in time for the out.
It looked like a healthy pitcher busting off the mound, threw a strike, got the bunt. Took what some might consider the riskier play, but he did it in a conventional way and got him very easily. Force play, so you don't have to worry about the accuracy of the throw. Just get in the vicinity quick enough.
Second time through the order now. Here's Taylor. Start of the night with a walk. And that was caught trying to steal second. For just joining us, it was a weird play. He had it stolen, but then pulled up about 20 feet shy of the bag, seemingly having heard a foul tip or heard foul ball. Chopper by the bag foul. You ever get any bird calls from the other dugout with things like that, foul ball, or is that crossing the line?
It would be crossing the line even if it was the middle infielders that did them. That, you know, culturally you're allowed to deke that a ground ball was hit to get a guy to slide when the ball was going into the gap. You're trying to slow him down from running the bases and scoring. But yelling foul ball when it's not, that would be crossing the lines.
Other than 2, he's down to the deck in that swing.
This is what happened. Chris Taylor got a 4-pitch walk, takes off with Corey Seager on the first pitch, and all of a sudden he's just pulling up when if he just continues into the bag, he's got it easily. And the only thing we can conjure up is that he thought he heard foul ball.
And the salt in the wound was that what followed meant that he probably would have scored had that not happened. He takes low and inside, ball 1.
Well, the Seager at bat changes significantly. He's probably going to try and move him over, and then a Grandal hit, of course, behind that.
A run in the bank here in the second. 2 on with 2 out. And Walker to Taylor with a 1-2. Outside corner for strike 3. Second punch out of the game for Walker. The Dodgers get 1. Pups in the park tonight. Alana Rizzo's hanging out with them. We're going to visit with her and see what's going on when we come back.
It is the first Pups at the Park night at Dodger Stadium in 2018. I am here with Taylor and a group of Bulldogs. Of course, we have our own Bulldog. Well, so do these guys. So first of all, Taylor, why is Bulldog your breed?
Why is Bulldog my breed? Oh,
That's why.
they sneeze, they draw, they're so lovable, they cuddle with you. They're just the best breed.
Yeah, our Bulldog is pretty lovable and we like to cuddle with him too. All right, I know you guys support a couple of rescues for Bulldogs in the area. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we support Southern California Bulldog Rescue. These shirts give proceeds to SoCal Bulldog Rescue. And Road Dogs, which is a local LA Bulldog Rescue. These are Road Dog rescue dogs, Cricket and Brer.
All right, our Bulldog is not necessarily a rescue, but sometimes we have to rescue him every time. Thank you for what you guys are doing as far as rescuing. We appreciate it, guys. Pups in the Park, always a good time. Check them out on Instagram, IG_Bulldog.
All right, Alana, we were talking earlier about the storms out east and in the Midwest canceling games because of piles of snow, and we've got a bunch of dogs in the ballpark. 75-degree night. That's strike one from Rich Hill to open the third inning. Devin Marrero. That's the pitching coach Mike Butcher. And it will be interesting to see what the pitcher's spot do next if Walker's out there. Right now there's nobody in the on-deck circle.
Nobody in the on-deck circle, and if they do use a pinch hitter, there might be a report to the umpire he's being removed for injury so that there's enough time to warm up. That usually goes without saying, that people can recognize that the pitcher will have as much time as possible when a pitcher's removed from the mound and you see the trainer out there. But when he's removed for a pinch hitter and the injury got too strong, then you're still allowed as much time as possible.
TJ McFarland again getting loose. Hill with a 1-2, and Marrero hits it foul. A couple guys that spent time with the Boston Red Sox. Hill got his first opportunity in almost a decade to be a starting pitcher at the major league level with the Red Sox a few years ago. And Marrero was traded over just prior to the season. Native of Florida. On a 1-2, takes ball two.
More and more catchers are getting rest. You know, people are going with platoons or 3 deep. Kyle Farmer on the Dodger roster. Wear and tear of that position is very, very hard. And I think organizations are finding 2 rested guys is better than 1 guy that's outstanding but can't hold up.
And that is not Taijuan Walker going into the on-deck circle. It's a Walker, but it's Christian Walker. Trying to fool us. Yanked foul. The 53 was a dead giveaway. Diamondbacks winning last night 8-7. Dodgers with a nice rally, 6 runs over the last 4 innings of that game. Diamondbacks seemingly had an answer every time they came close, though. And then Brad Boxberger shut it down quickly in the 9th inning. It's a whole lot different personality to the 9th inning right now for Arizona than when Fernando Rodney was saving games. Pretty effective, right? He had a good year, but a lot more eventful. That's caught at third by Forsythe. Eventful is not a good term when you're talking about the 9th inning in the case of a closer.
Boxberger hasn't given up a run this year, and he's converted every save opportunity.
So into the Arizona bullpen in a hurry as Christian Walker bats here in the 3rd. And Taijuan Walker's spot. One of the silver linings of last night's loss The fact that the comeback forced Torrey Lovullo and the Diamondbacks to get into the key pieces of the bullpen. So he had to use Archie Bradley. He had to use Brad Boxberger. And they start that domino effect much earlier than they'd planned tonight.
Both clubs had to dig into their bullpens last night with Kenta Maeda's short start for the Dodgers. We saw a parade of relievers for LA.
No balls and 2 strikes. Hill with a quick pitch to get a fastball by him, making 88 look like something a whole lot harder. 3rd strikeout for Hill and 2 out.
Walker staring him down after this no leg kick pitch. Especially guys who have timing mechanisms, rhythm with their arms and hands, with the bat up by their shoulder. You get them in between wiggles. They like to launch from the same place every time, but they like to make sure they're launching from where they want to be with those hands.
David Peralta takes ball 1. Flied to the wall his first time. 2-0. And Hill for the first time visibly upset with himself. Pitching with that red eye that Dave Roberts talks about. Controlled rage. (3-0). Said it was while he was in Indy ball, reviving his career in 2016, that it was just kind of a realization that he had to live in the moment, and that the effort in that individual moment is all that matters for him, blocking everything else out, focusing that rage. 4-pitch walk to Peralta keeps this inning alive.
Saw the 2-0 curveball. You think, why is he throwing a 2-0 curveball with 2 out, nobody on? What's he attacking? Well, the curveball before that pitch was 11 out of 14 for strikes.
Two gone. Here's Marte. Diamondback second baseman riding an 8-game hitting streak and watching a curve miss badly for ball 1. Spots a fastball, 1-1.
These are the innings, the difference between going 6 and going 7, or going 7 or going 8, because it's probably going to end up being a clean inning, but it's going to be too many pitches to get it done.
Same spot with a heater. Strike 2.
Think about the walk prior to this with 2 out, nobody on. And now you've got a 20-pitch inning that is not finished yet, and probably should have been a 14-pitch inning again.
Hesitates in this delivery, and it's slashed foul. We saw the quick pitch earlier to strike out Christian Walker. Now the opposite of that. Hill loves to be creative, whether it's how he shapes his curveball or where he locates his fastball or the tempo of his windup. Downhill with another 1-2 after a toss over. Breaking ball driven towards right center field. Long way to go for Puig, who won't get there. It's up against the wall. Marte stops at second with a game-tying double. And the 2-out walk bites Rich Hill here.
Number 44, Paul Goldschmidt.
It seems like walks all year have really burned the Dodger pitching. Whether it's leading off an inning and giving up a walk and having that guy brought around to score, or here a 2-out walk with an extra base hit that multiplies into a run.
Chase Utley trying to get Peralta to slow up enough to make it a play at the plate. No stone unturned. Goldschmidt with 2 out.
A little extra intensity to that deke with Chris Taylor maybe being deked by the Diamondbacks. Might be like turn around is fair play.
Blow on Goldschmidt, who singled his first time up. Prior to that Marte double, Goldschmidt's single was the only hit against Hill. One and one. One of the top hitters in the game.
And being protected very well today. Like, why are we pitching to him? Well, Pollock behind him, swinging a very good bat.
Curveball caught the corner, 1-2. A matchup of 44 against 44. One, two. Rides inside, ball 2. The story of how Paul Goldschmidt started wearing 44 is so Paul Goldschmidt. It's what was hanging in his locker when they called him up, and he didn't feel right asking for something else. So he kept it. Unloads on this one towards the foul pole. It is gone. A majestic 2-run home run for Paul Goldschmidt has given the Diamondbacks the lead.
Carl's Cam replay, and Paul Goldschmidt started twice but caught up and got all of that one. This was the scary part about Arizona, that they were winning this many games, 10 out of their first 13, a franchise record without a hot Goldschmidt.
Measured at 428 feet. That is ball 1 on Pollock. Just to give that a little bit of perspective, to the wall in dead center, it's 395. That's a good 30 feet farther than that. Two 2-0 on Pollock. After he retired the first 2 in this inning, a walk from Peralta, the double from Marte, and the homer from Goldschmidt. Strike 1.
Oh, all the way to the World Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers right there to the last game. Disappointed without winning it. But what happens is you have a big target on your back for the next year. Everybody wants to beat you because you are the yardstick in the National League.
Pollock now to right. Puig drifting back. He's got room. And the inning comes to an end. But the Diamondbacks with a 2-out rally to take a 3-1 lead. It'll get better, buddy.
Friday on an all-new Backstage Dodgers, LA Rams All-Pro running back Todd Gurley pays a visit to Dodger Stadium to throw out a first pitch. Plus, JT Chagua adjusts to life in LA. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac. Friday after the postgame on Sportsnet LA.
TJ McFarland gets the first shot after Taijuan Walker, who goes only 2 innings and leaves apparently with some kind of injury. So for the second night in a row, McFarland comes out of the D-backs bullpen.
Fastball slider change. They've run it up there about 92 miles an hour. A little softer than what Paul Goldschmidt hit that ball out to left field.
To give Arizona this 3-1 lead against Rich Hill. Corey Seager to lead off the third for the Dodgers. And he hits the first one foul.
Rich Hill's going to try and write a different story the rest of this game. Settle into this. Let the offense have time to get back. Maybe the bullpen has a chance to finish it off and record a win going into a Clayton Kershaw start tomorrow.
Makes this a big game tonight. I mean, if you're able to come back and win it, you're feeling good about your chances to take the series, and that shifts the way things are feeling early on.
Arizona 10-3, and they have not lost a series this year.
Only team with a better record in the National League, the New York Mets. They're doing it despite Yoenis Cespedes sitting around 200, striking out more than half of the time. 3-1 on Seager, starting the third.
Cespedes cold and yet to heat up, and Goldschmidt was cold but is heating up. They're the top 2 teams in the National League.
Mets' 10-game winning streak was snapped today by the Brewers. 11-2 now. On a 3-1, Seager hits a chopper to first. Goldschmidt's got it. A race to the bag, won by McFarland.
Goldschmidt's second time at that play. One from foul territory to Walker that he made a nice toss, and this one to McFarland, another nice toss. Left-hander on the mound. The glove is closer to the runner, but Paul keeps the ball to the inside.
Both times to get Seager. One away for Grandal, who is bummed that Taijuan Walker's out of there. His first inning single. He's reached against Walker in 10 of his 15 plate appearances against him. Takes low, ball 1. It also flips him around, and he bats right-handed. Ball on a strike. TJ McFarland is from the Chicago area. Drafted at a high school by the Cleveland Indians. And went to the Orioles, made his big league debut there before coming to the Diamondbacks. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's gotten his business degree online while he's been playing pro baseball. He says it's a good thing that he is a professional baseball player, because in his words, if he wasn't, he'd probably just be doing some boring office job.
A lot of people rolling their eyes right now.
Grandal smacks it, and the ground is short for Ahmed. 2 up and 2 down.
For 35, Cody Bellinger.
Lefty against lefty here. Cody Bellinger struck out against Walker his first time up. You're talking about the slow start that Bellinger's followed with a nice run. He was 0 for his first 9. And coming into the game, 378 since then. Little bit in, 1-0. Slices one to left center field. A.J. Pollock on the move with Peralta. Neither will get there. Bellinger with a 2-out double, continuing his hot hitting.
Well, you say it's a double because he hit it in the perfect place, but he also hit it along the way. And pretty much when you hit a ball that lands just short of the warning track, it doesn't have to be where it threads the needle. But that's what Bellinger did with the curving of it away from the center fielder Pollock.
Pick the right guy out of the two to curve it away from. Pollock much better range than Peralta. It's exactly what he was thinking when he swung, right?
Exactly. Get that steering wheel out, just put it out there in that gap.
Puig now, and the Dodgers trying to do what the Diamondbacks did in the top of this inning and rally with 2 out. And the dirt, ball 1. So Bellinger's doubled with 2 out. Puig doubled his first time and scored the game's first run.
The center field camera, that bat that Yasiel's using, it's glossed up like a piece of furniture. You can put that thing on your dining room table. Probably a lot of people that would like to have a Yasiel Puig bat, even if they had to put it on their dining room table.
Can you sign it for us, Yasiel? Ball on a strike.
It almost looked like Yasiel was calming down the bench and Chris Woodward, that they all yelled at him, that ball's low. Because that's what benches and coaches will yell most about, is the height of a ball. Because that's all you can see from the side when you're on the bench. You can't see in and out over the plate. If you think the height's wrong, you will get a bark, especially today.
Pops in the park. Scatters the feet, puts Puig ahead 2-1.
This one's down at his puppies. Breaking ball down and in. Moves the paws out of the way.
You've been practicing?
It just kind of comes to me naturally, Joe.
Wow, I'm impressed.
And
Teach me your ways,
you know what?
master.
But we had a rain out, we had an off day. Now we're starting to get in a rhythm.
Right. I thought you were going to say we had a rain out, we had an off day, stayed in my hotel room, wrote my lines for dog day.
No, didn't do that.
On 2-1. Yasiel Puig dribbles one along third for strike 2.
If he's going to mark that really pretty bad, I think he wants to mark it with something hit harder than that.
You're right. That thing is glossy. Rich mahogany.
I know he didn't use that bat yesterday. Guys in the truck are now digging up every Yasiel at bat to see if I'm right or wrong.
Two out. Runner at second. McFarland to Puig with a 2-2 offering. Digs it out, sends a high fly ball to left center field that Peralta will slide to finish the inning. We go to the fourth. 3-1 Arizona. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. Looking at Montreal on this date in 1969, the first international Major League Baseball game. First Major League Baseball game on foreign soil. An 8-7 Expos win over the Cardinals. They had a packed house that day. The stadium wasn't even ready. A bunch of people got there and had to sit around and wait for them to get rented chairs brought in and unfolded for them to sit in until they finished the place. Rich Hill to Chris Owings. Strike one. And Expos were there until they moved to DC in 05. It's been kind of a push to get a team back there. Baseball talks about expansion. Just off of the plate, 1-1. Internationally, that's somewhat of a focus right now. Of course, the Dodgers are headed down to Monterrey, Mexico in a couple of weeks to take on the Padres in a 3-game series. Owens swings and misses 1-2. Opposite field base hit. Puig trying to cut it off. Owings rounds hard, headed for second. Puig's throw not in time. In there ahead of the throw from Puig with a leadoff double.
Chris Owings, one of the hitters with the Diamondbacks that has been hot. And I think Yasiel's hesitation kept him hotter right there. He got credit for a single, but I think he'd have been out without this. He had to re-grip it. I think like an infielder going into his glove. Yasiel didn't have the seams or the grip he wanted, so he had to re-grip it. And that cost him a bag.
Owings went where few do, and that is the second when Yasiel Puig's approaching the ball. So leadoff man at second, and here's Nick Ahmed in a 3-1 game in the fourth. Ball one.
The thing about Yasiel is he didn't even have to kind of regroup in the middle of his body. He did it. He regrouped like a catcher, like he was up there and oh, it's loaded. Okay, oh, I don't get the full reload. I'll go. And he made a perfect throw.
Hill to Ahmed with a 1-0 curve that misses, and after a sharp start to this game, Rich Hill really beginning with the 2 outs last inning, just lost command.
Got the 2 outs on first pitch strikes, then he goes walk, double, home run, and fell behind all 3 of those hitters.
Foul tipped into the glove, 2-1. The 38-year-old from Milton, Massachusetts. A couple of East Coast guys facing off here against Nick Ahmed, who is a Connecticut native. On a 2-1. Gets a strike with a curve, 2-2. Rich, the youngest of 5 kids growing up in his family. 14 years younger, though, than the next youngest. His dad, a longtime high school principal, Lloyd Sr., who is now 89 years of age. Never misses one of Rich's games. Never misses a pitch. Watching back home. Fastball for strike 3 to the inside corner, and 1 out in the 4th.
Ahmed shaking his hand, but that was definitely a strike. It's just because he saw the movement of Yasmani's glove across the plate.
Number 5, Alex Avila.
Left-hander throwing it with a low arm angle, crossing through the plate to a right-hander inside. That definitely crossed the plate.
4th K of the game for Hill. First out of the 4th. Up comes Alex Avila. Rich says his dad taught him the importance of consistency. Every single night, the same routine. A ball on Avila. So again, he's a principal, and every night before bed, Lloyd Sr. would iron his shirt, shine his shoes, and they'd be ready to go the next morning. Simple, but the consistency in doing those simple things is something that stuck with Rich. Lloyd was a great athlete himself. He played football at Brown on the same team as Joe Paterno.
Oh, wow.
Joe Paterno was a Brown quarterback. And Lloyd Hill was on the team. (2-0). Nowhere close. Grandal blocks it, and the runner holds at second. So we've gotten word that Taijuan Walker left the game, and this is not what you want to hear, with right forearm tightness.
And that usually happens when something is being protected in the elbow. Those forearm muscles really start to fire to protect the elbow joint.
Hill's second walk. 2 on with 1 out. And a 3-1 game here in the fourth.
Number 10, Devin Marrero.
And the 8-hitter Devin Marrero comes up.
Rich Hill is really missing. He did not want to walk right there. Avila is a guy who has not put up very big numbers. You are not walking him to set up a double play.
You reverted back to the old pronunciation. Can't help it, huh?
It's just so hard because I called his dad Ralph Avila his whole life, his grandfather. So it's just really hard thinking about Ralph and Mike Brito, who's in the house here, scouts that put together the '88 championship team, Mel Didier, Jerry Stevenson. Scouts don't get enough credit for all the work they do for then general manager Fred Clare.
That's strike one on Marrero. His grandpa Ralph, if you're not familiar with him, was key in the building of this organization the last several decades. Helped hatch the first training academy in the Dominican Republic. Dodgers were ahead of their time when it came to scouting that country. After Cuba was cut off as a major league pipeline. Marrero sends a ball to deep left center field. Peterson and Taylor converging, and it's gone. Devin Marrero just now knows that it goes out. I don't think anybody saw it. It disappears over the fence, and the Diamondbacks have busted it open. That's one of the slowest home run trots I think I've ever seen, but it's Avila's fault going slow in front of Marrero.
Well, they had some confusion over there around first base. I think they're both watching the ball to see is it going to be a home run or not. It ends up nobody needs to watch because we all know it clears the fence. But when it was live, Marrero comes around. Avila is just right there in front of him. And he's like, boy, I'm glad I slowed down, because he was excited and thinking, oh, it could be off the wall.
The umpires coming together here to see if he crossed Avila at first. I don't think that at any point.
It is reviewable.
Play is under review.
Avila in the dark spikes. Marrero in the, I guess you call those powder blue, turquoise.
Turquoise, yeah, teal.
What I saw, I don't think they ever crossed. I think there was just surprise that they were so close together that the looks looked like, are we guilty of something? Is everything okay?
Dodgers challenging the call on the field as the runners did not pass one another on base paths.
Trying to find the best look we can to.
There's Avila on the frame. He never comes back in the frame that he is actually behind Marrero. Circumstantially, you think that he did not cross him.
I mean, you've got to pass the runner entirely for it to be a violation.
Yep.
It's the runner that passes the other runner that would be called out. And they do call him out. So New York must have had a completely different angle than we had. Now, I believe 2 runs will still score, but Marrero will be called out as the second out of the inning.
Loses a home run.
And as far as how that's scored, when you're keeping a book, you're an official score, I'm about to learn right along with you.
I think he gets a single.
After review, the call
That's
on the
it.
field was overturned.
Single and 2 RBIs, probably, I would think.
So it should be a 5-1 game with 2 out. So that indeed will be the situation. And Marrero is robbed of his first home run as a Diamondback. TJ McFarland to hit for himself here and will continue pitching in this game for Arizona. Takes outside ball 1. That's a strike, 1-1. So 3 in the third and 2 here in the fourth. And Rich Hill really picking up the tempo here. Had 1 ball and 2 strikes. Makes quick work of McFarland to finish off the 4th inning. Weird. You come to a baseball game every night of your life and see something different each time. 2-run score. Home runs wiped away. It's 5-1 to the bottom of the 4th. Tommy and Joe Lasorda, 68th wedding anniversary today, and of course we're spending it here at Dodger Stadium. We welcome you back inside. The Dodgers trying to even this series at a game apiece, but in a 5-1 hole right now.
Tommy, Joe, and their daughter Laura, and congratulations Skip and Joe. That's fantastic. And you know what? The Dodgers need to come back on their anniversary and give them a W. That would be fun. That was crazy, that last play, huh? Guerrero and Avila. It's he must have passed him.
Yeah, and they must have had a different angle in New York than we were able to see here, because it didn't even look close on the angles that we were able to pull from.
And out of the corner of my eye, when I was watching it, it just looked like there was confusion, not that they had passed each other.
So again, 2 runs still score on the play. But Marrero's run wiped off of the board, and his home run wiped out of the stat sheet. Jock Peterson takes strike 1 from T.J. McFarland. It officially is ruled, by the way, for Marrero, a 2-run single. So you were right on that. Peterson out in front, 0-2. Drove in the lone Dodger run of the night in the second. That made it 1-0. The Diamondbacks getting 3 in the third and 2 in the fourth.
And all the scoring with 2 outs.
Yeah. Kind of. 1-2.
I just glanced back also.
Kind of, because Marrero was the second out on the play that the 2-run scored last inning. A 3-run rally in the third. That all came after Rich Hill retired the first 2. Two balls and 2 strikes on Peterson. Rick Krajewski, our stat man, is hammering away trying to find the last time that happened. A home run hitter crossing a runner during the trot. 2016, JT Realmuto of the Marlins past Marcell Ozuna. Here's another look at it. And yeah, from that one.
Oh, yeah. About a half a step.
So that was from the Arizona broadcast. Peterson punches a bouncing ball to the left side. Ahmed in a hurry gets him for the first out. Yeah, from that one, it's not a big surprise that it was overturned and he was called out. One gone, 4th inning. Here's Logan Forsythe. At the knees, strike 1. Actually, Rich Hill has a very loose tie to a historical play like that. That's strike 2 on Forsythe. Do you remember the name Harvey Haddix?
Oh, for sure.
From the discussion last year about Rich Hill's lost perfect game and then lost no-hitter. Technically, because of this story that I'm thinking of, Rich Hill is the first pitcher to lose a no-hitter in extra innings on a walk-off home run. It's a pop fly to right field. Chris Owings runs down for the second out. So Harvey Haddix in his game, and Harvey Haddix had a very similar game that Rich Hill had last year in Pittsburgh, where he threw 12 perfect innings in his case, lost the perfect game on an error, the first batter of the 13th, still had the no-hitter going. A couple Hall of Famers come up against Haddix. Eddie Matthews sacrifices a runner to second. Haddix then walks Hank Aaron intentionally. Joe Adcock comes up and crushes a pitch over the right center field wall to end the game, end the no-hitter. But Hank Aaron didn't realize the ball had gone out, so when he saw the runner score from second, knew the game was over, just veered to go be part of the celebration. That's a ball on Utley. So there's the second out. And then Adcock passed him on the bases, which by rule means both were out, and the play was officially scored a game-winning double.
In the playoffs with the Mets, when I was a Met, Robin Ventura hit the grand slam single because he was tackled by Todd Pratt, our backup catcher, between first and second after hitting a grand slam that was a walk-off win, but only got credited for a single because he got tackled, never got to second base.
Two and one on Utley. And by the way, we've gotten word from Major League Baseball in New York that the definitive look on that play wasn't seen on either broadcast. It was a high home shot. So think of the very top of Dodger Stadium, as I'm sure some of you have been to and taken a look at the wonderful view from up there. New York City used it to rule Devin Marrero out. That's a strike, and it's 2-2. A little bit outside, and he's worked it full. Chase Utley having a really good season in his somewhat limited opportunities. It's his 5th start of the year tonight. But with his 2nd inning single, his average above 300. Rolls it to the right side where they have him shifted, and that does it for the Dodgers in the 4th. Down 5-1 as we go to the 5th. Toyota's Thrill to Drive sales event is going on now. Check out amazing deals on a stylish new Corolla. Back in Los Angeles on a gorgeous night. Glad you've joined us. Dodgers down 5-1 as we move along to the 5th inning. Joe Davis, Orr Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and a wonderful Los Angeles crew led by producer Mike Levy, director Dustin Denty. Up here in the booth, Boyd Robertson, the booth boss, Rick Krajewski, the statistician, and Rich Hill back to the mound for the 5th, having allowed 3 in the 3rd and 2 in the 4th.
It's starting to feel like the last game of the year there. You thanking everybody?
Well, we got a few left. Ball wire, strike one on Peralta.
These guys are awesome for us. And a great start to the season on the television side. We've got to get it working on the field.
I think the people would much rather the good start having come on the field.
If the guys on the field are having a good year, we're probably having a good year too.
More fun for all of us, no question.
Haven't you noticed the attitude on your Twitter account changes a little bit depending on a win or a loss?
Sure. It's in on Peralta, fouled off, still 0-2. Peralta 0 for 1 tonight, flied to center, walked and scored. It was his walk that really started things for the Diamondbacks in the third after Hill had retired the first 2. Drops down here and induces a pop up to Forsythe. 1 out. Yeah, so the only pitcher ever to lose a no-hitter on a walk-off home run. Technically, because of the Harvey Haddix play. 1 out for Ketel Marte, who drags a bouncing ball to Forsythe. He's been busy in this inning. 2 up and 2 down. You can add to your Dodger bobblehead collection Saturday, April 21st. First 40,000 fans in attendance get a Cody Bellinger bobblehead commemorating his NL Rookie of the Year award, courtesy of Spectrum. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Ran into Cody's family this afternoon. They are here this weekend. Head back to Phoenix for the next few days, but they said they've got to be back here for the bobblehead weekend. A curve for a strike on Goldschmidt. So they'll be headed back. First one was actually a ball, so 2-0. Curves a strike. Goldschmidt, who crushed a 2-run home run his last time up there. Back-to-back curves. He locates them both, even the count up.
The last 2-0 count that he's had, a couple of them went 2-0 curveball missed, but here locked into 2 in a row.
Full count.
In the locker room, you'll hear guys say he just went Laredo. South of the border, drop down.
He's back in the third. Third one of the road trip for Goldschmidt.
Missed with the fastball, Joe, and Goldschmidt made him pay. That's what Paul was swinging through earlier in the season.
Yanks this one through for his 3rd hit of the night.
Center fielder A.J.
That bat is in the hitting area a long time. When you are fooled that much, still have one hand on the bat and can square it up. Take a look on the Morongo slow-mo cam. Paul Goldschmidt with his 3rd hit. You can see he's fully committed, about to release that top hand, but still keeps the bat in the hitting area.
It's another 2-out base runner for Arizona. Brings up A.J. Pollock. He takes inside, ball 1. High drive to deep left field. A.J. Pollock joins the home run party. A 2-run smash, and it's 7-1.
Rich Hill's fastball last year was hit at about a 179 clip, and it was always that high and away fastball to righties, the same window as the breaking ball. But Arizona's doing a nice job on the outer half of the plate. The right-handers are doing a nice job also with the high fastball, not popping it up.
Chris Owings takes ball 1. Rich Hill has now allowed more home runs to the Diamondbacks than any team in his career. He's given up more runs to the Diamondbacks than against any other team. There's action down in that Dodger bullpen. Scott Alexander has started to warm. Bouncing ball, Forsythe. He's the man responsible for all 3 outs in that inning. Halfway home, Dodgers again battling from behind.
Intense start against these D-backs. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a replica Jackie Robinson jersey presented by Bank of America. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Everybody will wear 42 tomorrow.
The way this game is going right here, we need everybody to come out tomorrow and change the momentum. Maybe they can change it here tonight, but they definitely need to change it tomorrow.
Pitcher's spot leads off the 5th, and Kyle Farmer will pinch hit for Rich Hill. Dodgers one of the best pinch hitting teams in baseball so far this year, and Farmer's been a big part of that. He is 4 for 5 as a pinch hitter. McFarland's 0-1. Farmer dribbles it foul. Well, the line will show just 2 home runs, but Rich would tell you he gave up 3. 2-run shot in the 3rd for Goldschmidt. What would have been a 3-run shot for Devin Marrero in the 4th had he not passed Alex Avila on the bases. And then A.J. Pollock, 2-run homer of his own in the top of this inning. And the dirt to Farmer, ball 1.
Scoreboard starts to get heavy when you look up and see 7-1. A few games ago, it was just early in the season. We'll come out of it. Another National League West opponent starts to put it to you again. It starts to get heavy. Starts to feel like you need a major change here. We need to start scoring. We need to start getting some good starting pitching. Need something to start clicking.
Two. Bouncing ball. Ahmed scoops it up for the first out.
The ball looked like it took a bad hop, but Ahmed has such great glove positioning on that hop and continued charging as he finished his angle. It was a very clean play that he made look easy.
With 1 away in the 5th, Chris Taylor's the batter. In front of an off speed, strike one. Well, the top three in the Dodge order tonight combine 1 for 5 with a walk. The engine of this offense really has not gotten going yet this season. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 year after they were one of the best in baseball, in the top third of the order at getting on and setting things up for the offense. They are second worst in the majors in on base percentage for the top third in the order. .267 the on base percentage. Major League average .342. Softly hit to Marte. 2 out. That's Taylor in the leadoff spot. That's Seager off to the slow start in the 2 spot. It's been Puig most of the year in the 3 spot. We talk about the home run power starting to come around for the lineup, because it has. 7 home runs the last 3 games, but most of the home runs have been solo shot. That table rarely set from the top of the order. After twice grounding to first, Corey Seager looks at ball 1 from McFarland.
Another stat that is really glaring on the offense is when they are ahead in the count. They're only hitting .284. It's right at the bottom of Major League Baseball. .338 is the average when you're ahead in the count. And that'll tell you the guys really mechanically are not feeling good at the plate. Because when they're ahead in the count, they're in a hitter's count. They're looking for balls near the middle of the plate, and they're not able to execute on those pitches.
Turner grinding through kind of mechanical thing there while he watches. McFarland looking for a 1-2-3 inning. This is away to Seager, and it's 2-2. Detailed it off of the top. First 12 games last year for Justin Turner. He was hitting .372. Third baseman for the Dodgers this year through 12 games, 174. 200 points below that. Softly bounced to Marte, and 3 ground ball outs induced by T.J. McFarland in the 5th. On to the 6th. on one side. That'd be Arizona's 3 consecutive innings with a home run against Rich Hill. First it was Goldschmidt, then it was Marrero, which in the book gets wiped away because he passes Avila on the base paths. And then Pollock hit a 2-run shot of his own.
It's going to be a night that Rich Hill wants to forget. 2 out of 3 of his outings so far this year have been a little rocky.
Scott Alexander now.
Scott finished up his warm-up tosses, and now Dave Roberts out there to check on Logan Forsythe. It looks like he's making a fist and kind of stretching his elbow out.
Forsythe's going to leave the game. Man. Hernandez will come in for him. Harpet's heads are falling off.
I'll tell you what.
Entering the game at third base.
This is during the last half
Number 14, Kike Hernandez.
Forsythe massaging that shoulder. Some kind of crazy contraption.
I could play amateur doctor, but I'm not going to go there. That's just, yeah, just a way to get a massage. Have it loosen up.
You know, a couple innings ago, watching him throw from over there, had a lot of life to it.
Yep.
So Forsythe leaves the game with some kind of arm injury, it appears. Here in the 6th, replaced by Kike Hernandez at third base. And in the batting order, Hernandez will hit 7th. Scott Alexander to Nick Ahmed. Open the 6th. Foul ball, strike 1. Alexander's a guy here in a 7-1 game with not a whole lot of leverage in this situation. Not a whole lot at stake seemingly within this one game. This is a good spot for him to try and get right.
It sure is, Joe. He's looking to power that sinker and have it stay a strike, but still have some depth. There's a slider right there, which he does not throw very often, but you're struggling with one pitch, even though you throw it almost 90% or over 90% of the time. Sometimes adding that other pitch, giving you a new feel, can find the range on the opposite pitch.
Perfect right there, 1-2.
Well, good late movement, dropped about 3-4 inches straight down, get off the barrel. His best ones early here in the season have been for a ball low on the plate, and his worst ones have kind of been up and flat and hit. It is strange. It's strange for me, you know, doing the home games last year, this place was always rocking. Even when there was nothing going on, there was a constant noise.
To Tapper back to Alexander for the first out of the 6th.
It's almost kind of eerie.
Yeah, even games that would find themselves in this situation, a big deficit in the middle innings, there was almost a sense of anticipation from the packed houses that they were going to find a way to come back.
It's like fans were joining fans and having conversations about even anticipating it and talking about it. Like, you know, next inning we got Seager coming up, and then we got Turner, and, you know, after that things are going to roll. And, you know, you could almost feel those conversations happening.
Who's it going to be tonight?
Yeah, and the team needs to turn this around. These fans want more, and that guy getting healthy would help a lot. Took some dry swings today with the bat. Was out there for Dodger infield practice, catching balls with a left-handed glove on his right hand.
Really, it's all about a pain tolerance thing for him. How much you can handle. That's on the corner, 1-1. And once he feels well enough to be able to swing and get back at it, it's basically just when he feels ready to face major league pitching again. Still pretty stiff, though. Alexander to Avila 1-1, and Avila takes it in the dirt ball 2.
You got to move into swinging a bat pain-free, then hitting the ball off the tee pain-free, and soft toss, and then batting practice speed, and then game speed, and then swing and miss, and kind of have to lunge at it a little bit, and maybe hold on with just your left hand. There's a lot of tests you got to go through.
Yeah, definitely progression. It's not just, okay, my wrist feels good, let's go, Doc, bat me third.
Oh, every time you take one of those hurdles and you cross it, there's another day or two of staying in that kind of place before you add more stress.
Full count on Avila.
Most rehab is not how you feel that day, it's how you feel the next day.
He is always grinding away on hitting, isn't he?
Yep. Showing the placement of the bat and the grip, and then how that grip then triggers what your wrists and elbows and shoulders would do by just the hand position on the bat.
He's a hitting savant. Avila smacks one to Chase Utley. A couple of ground ball outs for Alexander to open the 6th.
Third baseman Devin Marrero.
And Justin plans to be with the team most of the time moving forward. He won't be down in San Diego with them on this upcoming road trip, but he also won't go back to Phoenix when they do leave. He'll keep getting his work in here in Los Angeles and be waiting for the team when they get back next weekend to take on the Nationals. So here's Marrero with the bases empty and 2 out in the 6th, taking a strike.
I mean, if you're home watching this on TV and just saw them adjusting their hands, take your hand and have it palm up and see how your elbow moves down, and take your hand and have it palm down and see how your elbow moves up. That's what they're talking about, how it, the grip, and that's a drastic change, palm up, palm down. Of course, the bat is not palm up or palm down, but just slight movements with your hand and your palm, the position of it changes your elbow. The elbow changes, then the bat path changes.
Show us again, guys.
But those slight adjustments of a hitter and where he launches from and what angle his hands are on will then change how quick the bat comes through, the path it takes, how long it stays in the hitting area, how much power you have. Such fine adjustments.
But when you see guys grinding on it like that, you can totally understand why slumps happen, because it shows you how many tiny little things there are that can be right, yes, but can also go wrong.
There are so many things, and the key to good coaching, or good coaching yourself, or talking to a teammate about, is finding the core issue. The one thing that fixes 5, don't coach the symptom. And so finding the core is the whole key to fixing a lot of things at once, compared to looking at the symptom. Like in pitching, it would be the follow through. That would be a symptom. That would be the exhaust. That's not where the problem is. You might have a bad follow through, but it's from something that you did back over the rubber in the beginning of your windup that gave you the bad follow through. And so the earlier movements, you're talking about a hitter, how he grips the bat and where he launches it from, and what are the angle of his hands and the grip on the bat. That's a core area for a hitter.
Alexander's 2-2, and the count goes 4.
So the worst coaches in the world coach what you do wrong. Good coaches tell you what to do right. Great coaches, the master coach, finds that one thing that fixes everything.
It's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Scott Alexander, taking a step forward in his season. Still a long way to go in this one. Stick around, folks. 7-1 to the bottom of the 6th. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. To the bottom of the 6th, we showed Logan Forsythe leaving the game last inning, replaced by Kike Hernandez at third. Showed him rubbing his arm, perhaps in pain with his throwing arm, but this is the prior inning to that. I mentioned that there were a couple of really nice looking throws. There's a lot of life on both these throws, seemingly with no issues.
No, you don't see any pain there, but who knows what's going on in his shoulder and what he felt. Maybe he felt it on one of those throws and then was unable to continue.
So here we go to the bottom of the 6th. Heart of the order for the Dodgers here. Grandal, Bellinger, and Puig against T.J. McFarland. He's turned into a central character in this story. Taijuan Walker left the game with an injury of his own. Tightness in his throwing forearm. T.J. McFarland, who had thrown just 2 1/3 all season entering the game, has gone 3 innings. 3 shutout innings, in fact. One ball, one strike on Grandal. Longest outing a year ago for McFarland was 3 2/3. There's some action down in the Diamondbacks bullpen. He reaches to the bottom of the tank. Pop fly to center. A.J. Pollock. 1 out.
It's an out of a different variety for McFarland. He's been getting a lot of ground balls. That one skied to center field.
Cody Bellinger.
Only base runner against him in his 3 1/3 was Bellinger, who doubled in the 3rd. One ball, no strikes. Two and out. Still just 22 years old. Arizona native, reigning rookie of the year in the National League. On a 2-0, takes strike 1. That's strike 2.
That take would make me be real careful with a breaking ball. When you got a guy, he's 2-1. He let a fastball right down the middle go. Like, was he looking for something else?
Cuts it off of the outside, full count.
A great fastball hitter, young hitter, aggressive hitter. Has not been, hitting well on down and in breaking balls from righties. There might be a hole there, but I know I'm left-handed. I throw him a fastball right down the middle, 2-1, and he doesn't swing. What's going on?
See what McFarland chooses on 3-2. It's a fastball hit foul. Bat about to celebrate its 3-month birthday. 2 out.
Breaking ball. Gets him just out in front. Earlier we saw Paul Goldschmidt get fooled on a breaking ball, but not quite as bad as that one, and was able to kind of hit it into left field with one hand.
Puig doubled and scored the first run of the game in the 2nd. Dodgers had 3 hits against Taijuan Walker in that inning. They've since gone 1 for their last 14. To the back door for a strike. This has been kind of a theme early on where they crack the code early, get a run in the first perhaps, maybe in the second, but haven't been able to sustain many things in the middle innings. It's outside 1-1. Of course, last night they turned it on late. But they've gotten a run in the first in that one, and the Taylor home run, and then went quiet innings 2 through 5. Two and one on Puig.
Last night the offense pitched well enough, or offense hit well enough to cover for bad starting pitching. It's just the bullpen wasn't able to shut it down late as the offense continued to climb back in it.
Puig punches one by the bag. He's headed for second. He's got his second double of the night.
His first double was to left field. He elevated a down and in changeup, and now to right field. Going against the scouting report and the data, hitting that hole down the right field line.
And bringing up Jock Peterson, who drove in the lone Dodger run.
Big fly here would help the energy level in the park and in the dugout.
It was certainly back for parts of that game last night. It kind of felt like it was starting to turn for the Dodgers, that they may complete that comeback. See if they've got a run in them tonight. Down 7-1 in the 6th. Lefty on lefty, McFarland to Peterson. Swatted right at the defense. Can't hit it a whole lot harder. Ahmed was waiting. The frustration spilling over. Dodgers down 7-1 to the late innings. These Diamondbacks, and then it's a quick road trip down to San Diego for 3 with the Padres Monday through Wednesday, and after an off day Thursday, back home to take on the Nationals. John Ryan Murphy pinch hitting to start the 7th, takes a strike from Scott Alexander. Padres right now leading the Giants 5-4 in the bottom of the 8th inning, trying to take the first 2 games, or 2 of the first 3 from San Francisco. Fly ball to center field. Chris Taylor for the first out. We go back a couple of innings to the crazy play where Marrero hit it out and was eventually ruled upon replay back by New York to have passed Alex Avila. This is the high home camera that they used as the definitive look.
The ball has cleared the wall, and it looks like he has passed the runner.
Borrowed footage from a Razor phone there. Peralta grounds out to Seager. You know where you could zoom it twice by clicking the volume button? They had it full zoom. 5 up and 5 down for Alexander. And 2 away in the 7th. Razors were sweet, though. Those were good. I'm glad you got rid of yours last week. Marte looks at a strike. Our producer Mike Levy says you mean lost it last week.
Yeah, I did.
Chopper to the hole, cut off by Hernandez. Low throw picked out of there by Bellinger, and you can count on him to do that. That's a 5-pitch inning for Alexander, who's retired all 6 that he's faced. We stretch. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Dodgers running out of time, but at least they have TJ McFarland out of there after his 4 shutout innings of relief. Fernando Salas comes on to face Kike Hernandez.
Last outing a couple days ago, a full inning, only took him 10 pitches. He's going to come at you with a fastball that hovers around 91. He's a 4-pitch guy. He's got the cutter, the slider, and the changeup also.
First at bat of the night for Hernandez, who's on for Logan Forsythe, having left the game after a visit from the training staff. And Hernandez pops the first pitch up into short center for Marte. 1 pitch, 1 out for Salas.
Second baseman, number 26, Chase Utley.
Here comes Utley.
Dodgers are hitting right with the Diamondbacks. They're only being out hit 7-6, but the production is completely different.
And now facing the 32-year-old out of Mexico. 9th major league season for him. First one with the Diamondbacks. And gets a strike on Utley. It was a strike, but it was about 6 inches from his knuckles.
He crept in a little bit towards the plate again.
Now, if you're wondering if this is the man to hit Utley, this is the man to plunk him for the 200th time. Salas hasn't hit anybody in 3 years. 0-2.
Yasmani got hit by Zach Greinke yesterday. That was the first one in 3 years. And they had a laugh about it when he came up to the plate. Like, why me? You don't hit anybody, Zach.
0-2. Upstairs for ball one. Matt Kemp in the on deck circle in the pitcher's spot. And Wilmer Font loosening. Good stuff from Scott Alexander tonight. Right now we're kind of in the business of trying to find silver linings, and if nothing changes in this one, then there it is. Scott Alexander, a guy that they need to get right. Is the best that he's looked this year.
Yasiel Puig has been better since being moved out of the 3-hole also.
2 walks last night, 2 doubles tonight.
But anybody in the roster, Dave Roberts, the coaching staff, will tell you it's about consistency right now with the club. Everybody's having their moments. Starting pitching has had some very nice stretches. Offense has scored runs, but they're just not matching it up. They're not in sync. And the way to get in sync is to do it more consistently in every department. If you're doing it 80–90% of the time and you overlay it over other departments like defense and offense and starting pitching and bullpen, you overlay those, well, you come up with winning about 65% of your games.
Utley takes it low and in to even the count up. Here's a 2-2. Just off of the plate, full count.
We see the conversation we saw earlier between Matt Kemp and Justin Turner right there. We saw the conversation between Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes, asking the guys hanging out around the cage. It's like, okay, what's the vibe in the dugout during the game? And they're like, everybody's grinding away. Everybody's talking baseball. Everybody's concentrating. There's no moping.
There's no slacking from Chase Utley right now. This next pitch will be the 10th of the at-bat after Hernandez was retired on Salas's first pitch of the inning.
This team, they come to work. It's like they punch their time card, and they punch the time card before the game and get through their workouts and BP. They punch the time card at the end of the game, after, not right after the game's over. They go right into training or video work and don't leave the ballpark right away.
Utley on the 10th pitch, singles into center. Trying to spark something here in the 7th. Matt Kemp headed to the plate now.
Pitching for the Dodgers, number 27, Matt Kemp.
Dave Roberts always looks to Chase Utley when things go flat for grinded out at bats or sparks. It seems like the Silver Fox can always find a way to get things started.
5 for 6 now as a pinch hitter. And Kemp, who's had a good return to the Dodgers so far, hitting above 300 and really hot over the last week. Trying to tee things up for the top of the order. Salas deals strike one. Ball and a strike. Kemp's ahead 2-1. This is certainly not what Matt Kemp had in mind early on in the season as far as the team wins and losses go. His Dodgers sitting at 4-8. Team that he left, the Braves, a surprise 8-6 start. On a 2-1. Smacks it foul 2-2. Really, it's all three division favorites that are below expectations so far. All three defending division champions. The Nationals won today, but they're still a game below 500 at 7-8. The Cubs had what seems like might be a victory to get them turned around in the early season, raising that 10-2 deficit. But that just puts them at 500. Kemp chases for strike 3 in the second out of the 7th. So the three reigning division champions and the three favorites probably going into this year combined 18 and 22 thus far.
That comeback win by the Cubs down 10-2 is the kind of win the Dodgers are looking for to maybe spark something. We'll see what happens in the next few days with the Cubs.
Back to the top, and Taylor and Mike Butcher coming out for a visit. Unfortunately for the Dodgers, they don't have opposing relievers coming out of a heated room into a 30-degree ballpark. 3 more dogs right there than there were at Wrigley today. They're beautiful dogs.
They are gorgeous.
Dodger dogs. Taylor 0 for 2. Two huge personalities right there at first. A strike on Taylor. Two of the most well-respected players in baseball over there at first, being truthful.
They sure are. They're probably better at texting than talking, though.
1-1. Two guys that would be perfectly fine coming to the ballpark, playing baseball, and not doing anything else.
And talking baseball
Right.
the whole time. That's why they're so good. Every detail.
So locked in. Perfectly placed, and it's 1-2 on Taylor. Media darlings they are not. But baseball stars, those guys.
They are in the spotlight, but they do not seek it.
No question. Taylor pops it to center field, where A.J. Pollock went back at first. He'll come on and catch it in the 7th inning. To the 8th we go. Back to Dodger Stadium in a moment. Maybe it's a rally dog. 7-1, top of the 8th inning. Check into the studio with Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, Joe, thanks. Dodgers have now given up 31 runs over these last 3 home games. They were able to chip away last night. Hopefully they can chip away once again tonight in these final couple innings. Nomar, Jerry will break it down after the game.
Wilmer Font into the game, trying to keep it right here at 7-1 after Scott Alexander fires 2 shutout innings. Let's go down to Alana Rizzo for an update on Logan Forsythe.
All right, guys, thanks very much. You saw that Logan Forsythe exited the game a bit early today, and you saw him in the dugout apparently dealing with a right shoulder issue, kind of using that Theragun to try to work it out. I got an update from the Dodgers Public Relations Department. All they would say is it's right shoulder discomfort, which is obvious when Logan came out of the game and obvious when he was in the dugout, but that's all we know so far.
Okay. Goldschmidt leading off this inning against Font. Checking his swing on a pitch outside, 1-1. One of the 3 home runs tonight for Arizona. And the box score, in a weird baseball way, is only going to show 2. Devin Marrero passed one of the runners on the base paths during his home run trot. So officially his goes down as a 2-run single. He's back in the 4th. His 3 home runs came against Rich Hill in 3 successive innings early in the game. 1-2. Driven to center on a line for Chris Taylor. 1 out. Brings up A.J. Pollock, and his home run is our top-tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco.
Got a high fastball from Rich Hill, and this made it 7-1. Really took the game and made it feel out of reach. But the Dodgers still have 6 outs to try and catch up.
Tries to lay off a curve but can't. Strike 1. Pollock in his 7th year now. Only Goldschmidt's been in the Diamondbacks longer. He'll be a free agent after this year. If he's able to stay healthy, I think he's going to have some suitors, even as part of a very crowded and historically crowded and talented free agent group. Unloads again. A.J. Pollock's 2nd home run of the night. The Diamondbacks lead it 8-1.
With the fastball off of Rich Hill, this is a breaking ball that just kind of backs up. Powerful swing right there with outstanding timing.
With 1 out, it's Owens taking a fastball for a strike. So his 3rd of the season, his 2nd tonight. 4th one the Diamondbacks have hit out. A team that last year against the Dodgers hit more home runs against the Dodgers than any team had in a single season since the late 50s. Strikes him out, 2-away.
Shortstop number 13, Nick Ahmed.
44,000 people tonight, 635 dogs. That's official.
That's a lot of legs.
Yeah. 2,400 dog legs.
Mm-hmm. And some human legs.
That math is easier. Strike one on Ahmed. Did you see before the game there was a dog contest, and it was judged by Justin Turner and Kike Hernandez.
Really?
Yeah.
And what was the contest? Did we know? Just beauty?
Yeah, as part of it. I think one of the dogs could high five on command.
With Kike and Justin, you'd think it'd be like fetch.
Yeah, I didn't see the exact outcome of it, how they chose. 1 ball, 2 strikes. But one of the 635 dogs here won a championship. Giving him the ring tomorrow.
Looks like he's a little disappointed he didn't win.
Well, he has 634 or 633 friends that can relate.
Yep. That one's being consoled right there by Mama.
For more than one reason tonight. Ahmed in the air to center. Here's Taylor. And to the bottom of the 8th we go. 8-1 Arizona. Clayton Kershaw will tote the rubber for the Dodgers. Trying to, at this point, looks like salvage one game out of the series, barring a late inning comeback. Facing off with Zach Godley. The Diamondbacks pitching has been the story for them much of the year, and he's been the best.
Been very, very good. He's got a football mentality, and he'll be out there. There'll be 2 guys that kind of treat baseball like football as far as attitude. Clayton Kershaw looking like he's going to have to be the stopper for the Dodgers, and Godley will come out and attack.
Andrew Chafin will handle this 8th inning for the Diamondbacks. Corey Seager to lead it off. He takes outside ball 1, and we go down to Alana.
Guys, as you mentioned, Clayton Kershaw to finish out this series against the Diamondbacks. And as far as the Padres series is concerned in San Diego, Dave Roberts staying on turn. It's going to be Hyunjin Ryu and then Alex Wood on Tuesday, and Kenta Maeda will finish it out on Wednesday.
And I believe they're going to miss Luis Perdomo as part of Perdomo's suspension for his part in the brawl against Colorado. How do you feel about 5 games as a suspension for a starting pitcher? In a way, doesn't it just move you back a day?
Yeah, in some ways, the way rotations are working nowadays, You know, in the days of the 33 to 35 starts, 36 starts, that might have been long enough when a guy goes out there every 5th day. But yeah, I think about 8 days might be a little bit better.
On a 2-1 pitch, Seager grounds it foul.
And if you suspend an everyday player, let's say for 2 days, you might think about taking a starter, suspending him 10.
Right.
Maybe even 12.
A 2-2. Full count on Seager. Olana.
Well, guys, Luis Perdomo and Nolan Arenado are the ones that got into it to begin with in that Rockies and Padres series. Nolan Arenado suspended for 5 games, elected not to appeal the decision. His suspension started today. He lives in Arizona in the offseason, so he's going to go to their facility for extended spring, if you will. And he's going to be able to work out there. As long as he's not working out with an affiliate of the club, he can still work out. It doesn't necessarily affect the Dodgers because the Dodgers don't play the Rockies until the end of May. But he elected not to serve or not to appeal the suspension, serving it now. Gerardo Parra will wait to serve his suspension when Nolan Arenado gets back.
Okay, good stuff, Olana. Another payoff coming to Corey Seager. And he chases for strike 3 in the first out of the 8th. Parra is suspended for cold clocking A.J. Ellis during that brawl. Blindsided him. Why, A.J.? There's no nicer guy out there. 1 out for Grandal.
When I was a Giant.
Oh, no.
I'll erase that part.
Yeah.
In 1998, my teammate was Danny Darwin. He was a pitcher on the team. He used to pitch for the Houston Astros, who we went toe-to-toe with when I was a Dodger. And there was a fight that broke out that involved Barry Bonds. And in the fight, I ended up getting hit from behind. And so we all went in those days. We had a traveling trunk that housed the television gear, a real tiny television in there, and then all the tape machines and we all gathered around as a team after the game to see how the fight broke out. And I was wanting to watch the fight and to see who hit me. And right as it's about to happen, I know I'm about to get hit as I'm in there trying to break it up. Danny Darwin is over my shoulder watching the video with me, and I go, "You hit me." And he goes, "You're damn right I did." And I'm like, "We're teammates." He goes, "You had man on second, no out. I was coming up, and you didn't want me to bunt him over to third because it was a 1-1 game, and so you plunked me and made it first and second and set up a double play. You knew our pinch hitter wouldn't bunt."
Years ago.
Years ago, 1998. And years ago from when he hit me. And I go, "Are you serious? You waited this long to get me back?" And he goes, "Yeah." And it was perfect. You were out there breaking it up, and I just saw your chin from behind. I just knocked you.
Unbelievable.
I didn't hit you square, he said. I just kind of glanced it on purpose.
Your teammate.
My teammate hit me. It's the only time I've been hit on a baseball field as far as by a fist.
Wow.
Danny Darwin. He's a great guy, too. It was hilarious because, you know, it just stung a little bit. It shocked me. I'm like, where'd that come from? I'm looking for a Pittsburgh uniform. And I got hit by a Giant.
Did the rest of the team see this and eventually?
Oh, they were all cracking up. Yeah, because I was barely even red. But he, you know, from behind, think about it, right hand to the left side of your chin, just a kind of a glancing blow. Boom. I'm like, what was that?
That is something. What a story. Full count on Grandal. Who would have been the scariest player to have charge you?
Oh, my. Well, Nolan Ryan's right up there. Famous footage of Robin Ventura when he charged Nolan. Wow.
So you saying facing Nolan Ryan, having Nolan Ryan hit, get upset at you?
Yeah, come out and
charge.
Yeah,
wow,
he
that
bunts,
is not an answer.
Well, that was one of the scariest times I've ever been on a baseball field when he threw it right at my head when I tried to bunt for a hit on him. And the next pitch was right at my head.
Never saw it, right?
Never really saw it.
Grandal.
Just kind of flinched and ducked and went over my head. Dwight Gooden threw the same type of pitch, but not on purpose when I was bunting, and it was the same kind of thing. It's like, wow, if that would have been at me, it would have hit. It just blinked right through it. Like gets in your blind spot. Going about 98 miles an hour.
That was a better teammate to have hit you than, say, Albert Bell.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody. You know, Danny did it out of, I'm going to pay you back, but he didn't. He didn't like. He could have knocked me out if he really. Yeah. Would that have been an interesting suspension? Danny Darwin suspended for hitting his teammate.
0-1 on Cody Bellinger.
You know, the scariest guys that would charge you would be somebody that would take 5 punches to hit you once. You know, they're just relentless. They don't care. They just keep coming.
Scrappers.
Yeah.
Bellinger muscles one and a bounce to second. Marte gets the out at second, and that's all. Did his best to try and make it a double play, but it was hit too softly. Bellinger runs too well. And Puig will bat with 2 out in the 8th. He would not be a fun one to have charge you, would he?
He would not. He is the type of guy with his attitude. He would keep coming. He would take 5 to get you once. And if he got you once, I don't think he would stop.
You would, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He might be one guy you just have to run the other way.
Right. Swallow your pride.
Yeah.
And head for the center field fence. Up and over it.
You do see that with pitchers, though. You got the raging bull coming out to charge you, and you see him throw their glove and back up and wait for the teammates. And then once all the teammates are in between, it's amazing how they start getting brave and like yelling over the pile and pointing. I can't believe it.
Tough guys now, once the cavalry comes.
Yeah, once you got 15 guys between you, it's amazing how the talking starts.
Notable exception, Kyle Farnsworth.
Oh, yeah?
Remember him?
Yeah.
He'd meet you at the base of the mound, squat down and get in a tackling position.
I played with 2 guys that you should never charge, Kevin Gross and Jim Gott. They were black belts.
Wow.
And they would go back in the auxiliary clubhouse before the reconstruction here of Dodger Stadium and the whole new locker room. But down the left field line was the auxiliary clubhouse called the Angel Clubhouse. And they would go back there with their instructors and be breaking boards and bricks. And Tommy let the instructors come out and do a whole display of the stuff. And Jim and Kevin got in there and was right in front of the team. We're breaking boards. We're like, oh, you guys. And it gets around the league. Like Steve Carlton. You would never see anybody charge Steve Carlton. Steve Carlton was a black belt and in probably multiple things. So, yeah, it gets around the league. Who knows their stuff?
Multiple disciplines of martial arts.
Yeah,
I mean,
taekwondo, karate, all of it.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Puig. The auxiliary clubhouse, you said, was called the Angels Clubhouse. Is that from the mid-'60s when the Angels shared the ballpark? Was it there?
Yep. Exactly. Or like on Old Timers Day and different things, or there was a college game after a game here. They would not be in the Dodger home clubhouse.
Bounce to third. Marrero goes the short way.
They would use the Angel Clubhouse.
Finished up with 8 innings. On to the next.
including the 11-game bobblehead plan featuring the Kenley Calrissian Star Wars bobblehead presented by Pirelli. Mini plans pricing starts at $24. Visit Dodgers.com/mini plans.
Wilmer Font back out there for his second inning of work. Diamondbacks crushing 4 home runs tonight and route to this 8-1 lead. Alex Avila to lead off the 9th. Got to go to his godfather's anniversary party tonight. Yes, he's the godson of Tommy Lasorda. In fact, Alex's middle name is Thomas because of Tommy. Tommy and Ralph Avila, who we were talking about earlier, his grandfather, very close friends. Alex has said before that Tommy was pretty much part of the family growing up. He hits a high fly ball to right field that sends Puig back to the wall and gone. Avila's first of the season makes it 9-1.
Third baseman number 10, Devin Marrero.
Wilmer Font throws a low-end fastball, which with a lot of left-hand hitters is a sweet spot if you don't get it under the swing, and that was a towering drive.
Marrero takes inside ball 1. The line will always show a 2-run single in the 4th inning for him, even though it went over the fence.
I don't know if that ball got thrown back when he hit it over the fence and should have got a home run, but if it did, it would be a nice ball to have in your office.
Right.
And you've got it on display, and under it, if you get a little plaque, you have 2-run single. And everybody who comes over for dinner, when they go through your office to look at all your memorabilia, go, why'd you save a ball?
Game winner, right? Walk off, win the division.
April game in 2018. What's the 2-run single ball? Well, that ball went over the wall. Well, you mean it was a foul ball? No, I mean over the wall in left field. So why was it a single?
Definitely be a good icebreaker, story starter. Font gets him swinging.
It's right up there with a teammate hit me in a brawl.
That would also break the ice.
Consider number 3, Daniel Descalso.
Here's Descalso, who has homered twice against the Dodgers on this young season. Fastball by him in 94, 0-1. Oh, and 2. If the score holds on this one, the Diamondbacks will be 11-3, half game off of the pace in the National League. Mets right now 11-2. Well, the Dodgers would fall to 4-9. It'd be their 7th loss out of their last 9 games. Starting with the first time they saw Arizona. Descalso grounds it to first, and Bellinger will step on the bag for out number 2. David Peralta. What a year David Peralta's coming off of. Besides having a good year at the office in baseball, he became a dad last fall. Wife gave birth to a daughter they named Sophia. Grounds one towards the middle and sneaks through it. And after becoming a father, he also became a U.S. citizen last fall. So congratulations to David, originally from Venezuela. Went through the lengthy process and passed all the tests to gain that citizenship. Passed on his first try. Not pretty right now, Bulldog.
Yeah, Corey or Chase really knew about halfway through their routes that neither one of us is going to get him out, and having the ball go into center field, nobody really touching it. Chase got close. It's bad presentation, but it was going to be a hit no matter what. Always feels a little better if somebody puts a glove on it and everybody gets to see, like, okay, that's an infield single. But when it gets through and two guys are standing there, it just, that's what Ned Coletti, the Dodger GM, used to say. You know, that's just bad presentation. It's nothing to do with the result.
0-2 on Ketel Marte. Last week that would have been, that's bad presentation.
Yeah, he had a little frog in his throat, huh? A little laryngitis. I absolutely love listening to Ned. His stories and his wisdom, fantastic. And I love it when he's on postgame with Dave Vassay. He has a little more time than in the pre and postgame shows. Got a little tighter window to talk and analyze. But on the radio, boy, he can get into some deep and great stories.
Sure has gotten good at what he does in a hurry, huh?
Oh, yeah. He didn't get to the heights that he reached in the baseball world without being a hard worker and an unbelievable guy. It's a pleasure to be near him when we get to be around him.
Released his book within the last year, The Big Chair.
Yeah. It really is a window into the soul of a general manager and to the timing of what goes on in off seasons and in-season trades. Everybody grades them like it's black and white and, oh, it just happened in one moment in time, but it's a moving train every day in a baseball season and off season for general managers and presidents of baseball ops.
And the ball leaves the yard here in the 9th inning. That's the look we all have, brother. The Diamondbacks out in front, 9-1.
Well, he picked on a fastball, he picked on a breaking ball, and he is showing the type of player that he is. He can help carry a team and plays a very premium position out there in center field also.
Jorge De La Rosa to pitch the 9th inning. Jack Peterson coming to the plate against him.
This will be an interesting at bat for Jock. Had a lot of frustration as the last at bat hit a bullet up the middle. And the defender just happened to be right there. He is looking for some results now. He's tired of executing, hitting the ball hard.
That's ball one. 110 tomorrow. Could be a tough thing in these stretches. Be a good thing too, though. Don't have to wait long to get back at it. Have another chance to right the ship. Sliced in there to left center field, where Peralta moves over to catch it.
Third baseman, number
Barnes
14,
taking a look at the scouting report on the iPad there. As Kike Hernandez comes up with one away. Won't be easy tomorrow. Zach Godley has really thrown the ball well for Arizona. Good thing is Clayton Kershaw has it for the Dodgers. Ball one.
Godley 2-0 over 14 innings pitched, only giving up 1 run, only 8 hits in 14 innings, and 12 Ks against 1 walk. So Clayton will need to be on his game if Godley brings that kind of stuff.
One and two on Hernandez. We will stand by for word on Logan Forsythe. Right shoulder discomfort. Dodgers released. Alana Rizzo reported. Already down, of course, their starting third baseman in Justin Turner, and you hope that it's just minor with Forsythe. 2-2 on Hernandez. Able to stay alive here.
Hard at bats to sit through if you're on the bench. Hard at bats to watch. Just you want him to do well, but it seems like this game is for naught.
That's into center and a base hit for Hernandez.
Positive for Kike right there. Something to build on.
Second baseman, number 26, Chase Utley.
1-on-1 out in the ninth, and Utley comes up with a couple more hits today. And Austin Barnes into the on-deck circle. One and one. Fastball away, 2 balls and a strike on Utley. If Logan Forsythe is to miss any extended time with whatever he's dealing with in that right shoulder, could lead to more playing time for Utley at second. Could lead to more playing time for Farmer at third, depending on where they choose to give Kike Hernandez the majority of his ABs.
A lot of right-handers coming down the line against the Dodgers. You look forward and you go, okay, how do you turn this around? Well, first and foremost, Clayton Kershaw tomorrow at 110. Then you think about, okay, we're going to San Diego. San Diego's not supposed to be that tough. Go in there and maybe try and sweep them. At least win 2 out of 3. Get the train moving in the right direction.
Utley lifts a fly ball to short center field. A.J. Pollock for the second out of the 9th. Austin Barnes. Again, 110 tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers. Zach Godley for Arizona. Diamondbacks, by the way, 1 out away from moving to 7-0 against left-handed starting pitchers on the year. Of course, the Dodgers have 4 of them out of the 5-man rotation. A strike on Barnes. Alex Wood set to go Tuesday in San Diego against Brian Mitchell. Quickly 0-2. A ball and 2 strikes. About 15.5 hours from now, they'll do it again. Two and 2 on Barnes. At this point, I think the faster you can get to the next one, the better, and have another fresh start, another chance to turn the page and hopefully start playing the way that everybody, the Dodgers included, expected they'd be playing at this point.
This is definitely a rough patch, and it makes it even rougher because it's the beginning of the year where you're trying to get into the season, build your confidence, show everybody what you're made of and how you're going to play for the season. And now it's turned into a turnaround project instead of a start. It's a long year when you don't get good pitching. It's a long day when you don't get good hitting. So the pitching needs to turn around, and we got a great guy on the mound tomorrow to turn that around, and that'll be Clayton Kershaw.
Full count.
Once that pitching gets in order, and all of a sudden the starters are going a little deeper into the game, and they're handing over possible wins or tie games to the bullpen, and then the bullpen comes in and does their job. Offense will go up and down. If it's steady around 3 to 4 runs a game, that's great. You're going to explode sometimes and get your 7, 8, or 10.
Dribbled back to the mound. De La Rosa throws Barnes out, and that is 11 in a row that the Diamondbacks have taken over the Dodgers going back to last season.
And they extend their own franchise record by starting out here in the first 14 games by winning 11 of them.
Try to avoid the sweep tomorrow with Clayton Kershaw against Zach Godley. That's at 110 for Orr Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, the rest of our crew. Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.